Welcome, everybody. I am so excited to have us gathered in one Zoom living room to have this conversation this evening. And we're going to start this episode out like I start all my episodes out. I typically ask my guests, what is their family known for? So as I introduce you to my new co-hosts, I am going to do a sort of a roll call and have them go around the room and tell us what they're known for so you can get to know them a little bit better. So we're going to start off with Alana. Tell us what your family is known for.
Hey, everybody. My family is known for leadership. It is a quality that we try to instill in our two kids who are 10 and 7. And my husband and I have been in leadership positions most of our lives, even myself when I was in youth group as a kid. So, it's just the way that we try to orient our lives.
Awesome. All right. What about you, Noelle?
I feel like mine's so much less holier than Alana's, but our family is known for throwing parties, and in the summer, my family, the four of us, we have a weekly Tuesday night barbecue where we invite our entire neighborhood, which is, I don't know how many people it is, but it's anywhere between 60 to 80 people show up. And it's fun. All the kids in the neighborhood come, people bring a dish, Troy grills hamburgers and hot dogs. And it's so well loved by my neighborhood kids that one of our neighborhood kids was in Disney and wanted to FaceTime the Tuesday night barbecues while he was in Disney. Aww. So just saying, that's how epic our barbecues are. So yeah, that's what our family's known for, is throwing parties and gathering people together.
That sounds like leadership to me. So
amen, Alana. I'm with you.
Saying.
Yeah, I've got to attend one of them. They're awesome. I love how you open up your home and just say, come. I don't even need to know you. Come.
That is very true.
All right, Elise, how about you?
I think our family's known for a sense of adventure. We really love fun and activities and travel. We did a 40 days and 40 nights cross-country trip when the kids were young. And I think that instilled a sense of adventure in all of us. We love to travel. We love to eat at fun places, that kind of thing. Kind of party-like too, Noelle.
Yeah. So let's back up a little bit. Alana, you did tell me how old your kids were, right? You mentioned that. You told us. So Noelle, tell us about your children, and then Elise, tell us about yours, so we get a sense of like what your family stage you're in right now.
Both of my kids are in middle school age. They're both currently in 7th and 8th grade.
And my kids are 27, 31, 33, 45, I think. And I have 2 grandchildren, 5 and 7.
Wow. Your youngest is 27?
Yes.
Oh my gosh. I remember when she graduated high school.
I know. Amelia just turned 27 the other day. We're old. They're old.
Wow. All right. What about you, Jess?
Oh gosh, that's awesome, Elise. Yeah, my family is known for, actually, was just having this conversation. One of my son's friends from baseball, he said, he's like, Truman, you're always like, you're such a cheerleader. Like, you're always cheering people on and you're such an encourager. And I was like, yep. That's our family. We're encouragers. Like, we are the cheerleaders without the pom-poms, pretty much like everywhere we go. And I really I love that about us. And it's always been sort of one of the through lines of our family, that even when we face weird stuff or people are like, I really want to try this thing, we're like, go for it. We're always saying go for it. So it's good. Oh, and my kids are like Noelle's. I have a middle school kids, boy and a girl, 7th and 8th grade.
Oh, wow.
Oh, I didn't know that about you, Jess.
Yes, we might have lots of conversations about that later.
Yeah, 7th and 8th. So both of you have 7th and 8th graders. So like close.
Very close.
18 months apart. What about you, Noelle?
22 months apart.
Oh, yep. I feel you.
Yep. Wow. I feel like it's an episode brewing in the future.
Yeah, agreed.
And y'all can help me because I'm facing down that barrel myself.
Right.
My daughter will be in 6th grade next year. So
that's speed, my friend.
Exactly. I agree.
All right. So I have a 14-year-old boy, 16, and an 18-year-old girls. And our family is known for, I think, hospitality. We definitely open up our home for everything. We've opened up our home for tons of small groups for our church because we currently rent a space. So they're always looking for people to host things. But we've also opened up our home for every team that needs a place to do the end of your party, or every, function that happens in town and somebody needs a home. Like, we're those people. We always say yes, because we just love having people here. We're always looking for an excuse to celebrate and get together. We're known for playing games. We like to create our own games, and we like to play them wherever we go. In fact, if we go to places where I think it might not be so fun, like maybe the conversation might be not as engaging as I would prefer, I'm like, bring a game. Like, there's, you can smooth out anything over with the game. Yeah. And I think that we're known for for travel. We love to travel. And for the longest time, and we still do this in a different way now, but we did diners, drive-ins, and dives. So every vacation that we did for about like 8 or 9 years would be making that part of our itinerary. And so we would post that, and like people I didn't even know that followed me on Facebook would be like, oh my gosh, I saw that you went to this restaurant, like they love seeing that. And so as our kids have gotten older and they've gotten a little bit more foodies, like it's turned into Michelin star restaurants we go to when we travel, and that gets a little pricey. I think it's better to go to the dives, but but it's been fun. All right. So I want to hear a little bit more about you guys personally and what you are passionate about. So when I think of this, I remember when I first started to think about what I was passionate about, or even when I work with clients and I ask that question, a lot of people don't know. And I like to describe it as, what is it that you could talk about forever? If somebody you may already know, like, this is what I'm passionate about, but like, what is the thing that if I bring it up, you could talk about it for the entire evening? All right, Noelle?
Well, I'm passionate about being from New Jersey. And I know that is the truth. I sat with this, I had like a couple really spiritual answers, and I crossed them out. I could talk about being from New Jersey, growing up in an Italian-American family my parents are both first generation Christians, like evangelical Christians. And it was almost like growing up in like a mishmash of The Sopranos and like Seventh Heaven, those two TV shows in the early 2000s.
So similar.
I cannot comment on whether or not we were associated with the mafia, but we were not as polite as the family on Seventh Heaven, but my parents really did try their hardest. So I love growing up in New Jersey, and I've lived in other places, one being Northern Ireland. So I've always said, if I'm not going to live in New Jersey, I'd rather live in Northern Ireland. But I am passionate about being here, and really actually being here and telling the stories of New Jersey in a way that makes other people want to know Jesus more, because New Jersey has a lot to do with my faith. And so, yeah, that's what I'm passionate about, is being from New Jersey.
Yes, I can attest to that. You talk about that in your Instagram stories and in your reels. I love it. All right, Elise.
Yes. And I just, for the record, am passionate about being from New Jersey too, Noelle.
I know you are.
I've gotten into quite a few arguments with people who live here and like to deny their attachment to it. I'm kind of like, well, you're here. So, but anyway, that's not what I'm talking about in my life on Instagram and all that stuff. I am really passionate about, at the crux of it, sort of story and identity. And the way I live out that passion is to share stories. I love hearing other people's stories. I love sharing my own story. And I just feel like life is the most interesting and greatest teacher. And human beings are so fascinating. And we're so intricate and complex. So I love helping people navigate life through the lens of story and through a lot of the lessons that I've learned, many of them by doing the wrong thing, struggling, making mistakes, because again, that's kind of the greatest teacher. And I hope to help others, maybe smooth the path for them a little by sharing what I've been through.
Yeah. And you used to have a blog when we met called Our Stories, God's Glory.
I did.
So it's no surprise that you still, well, I'm not surprised, but like that still resonates with you after all
It really
these years.
does.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love story. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think our stories are really important.
Yeah, they are.
Mhm. Yep.
All right, Jess.
Yeah. I think I'm like Noelle, like I don't want to say anything super spiritual, but like my life literally revolves around the Bible. So I think what I love about, or what I'm really passionate about, is making the Bible relevant and practical. So, I think sometimes we can over romanticize the word of God, or we can, make it like back then, it's like this ancient thing. And I really just love to take either snippets or long parts of the Bible and make them modern and say, hey, this is what it would be like if it was happening today. And the point of that is actually, I really love helping people take their next leap of faith, whatever that is. Like sometimes if they're in a really tough season, like, grief or whatever, it might just be getting out of bed and, having a day out of their pajamas. That could be their next leap of faith. Or it could be starting their own business. And, I love, sharing parts of the Bible that will encourage them and say, hey, God's got this and you're going to be okay. Just do it. Just trust him. So that's what I'm really passionate about.
That's cool.
Yeah, I love that. And you just graduated, right? From Bible school.
That's true. I did. I have a certificate
Ooh.
of pastoral ministry. Just a little bit. I don't want to go on because I think we might actually be talking more about like what we do and everything, but I'm an author, a Christian author. And so I was really, really worried that I might be like teaching heresy. So I was like, I better enroll myself in some Bible studies so that I know I'm not, telling people the wrong thing about the Bible. So yes, I do have a certificate of pastoral ministry. So that's good.
Yeah.
I found out I wasn't reading
Responsible
the
of you.
Bible right, so that was good.
A little accidental heresy happens.
Yeah,
sometimes.
it never hurt anybody as long as you know that you're preaching it. Like I think you're okay.
Yeah.
It's when you're preaching it and you're like, oh, that's not really what it means. You're like, no, sis, it doesn't.
No.
You're really in trouble.
All right, Alana, I'm going to have you go next.
What am I passionate about? This is really tough for me to narrow it down because I'm, if anybody cares about personality tests, I'm an Enneagram 7 and I'm an ENFP. So I am just, as I'm crazy. I'm wild. But I'm not, because as Allie Worthington likes to say, she's a 7 too. And, we like to say that we're healthy 7s most of the time. So what that means is, for anyone who doesn't know what those letters and numbers mean, is that I like new shiny stuff and I'm always changing and I'm always doing something different. But maybe a constant would be, actually, I'm going to go the non-holy route, movies. I love movies. It's really hard for you to disappoint me with a movie. I will find, if you make the situation believable, I don't care what planet you're on, or like it's aliens or it's magic or it's like some weird, whatever it is, I'm into it. I love it. It's very rare that I don't like a movie. And I grew up like, after you go to the movies, you like go to Perkins and you get like,
You gotta love Perkins.
or you go to Friendlies and you get, they don't have Perkins here where I am now, but you go to Friendlies and you get like a big, ice cream thing. You talk about the movie.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm passionate. I could talk, if the question is, what could you talk about for a long time? Movies, acting, I went to acting school, so that's something that I think about, care about. And Jesus too. Yeah, he's in there.
Yeah.
Movies and Jesus. Can I just ask a quick question? What is everyone's Enneagram number?
Oh, I was going to ask that. I'm a
Alana's
7.
Kimberly a 7. Lisa doesn't know who she is. She's a 2. She's a 2. She just won't admit it, but she is a 2. She's a 2.
What's the word with 2, Noelle?
Helper.
Oh yeah, I am.
I've known Elise
Didn't
for a
we
while.
think you were a 7 for a long time? What did we
We
think
did.
she
Yes, we
was
did.
for years?
Yes.
Kimberly, she's not. She's
Okay.
not.
All right. What about you,
Mm.
Jess?
Oh,
Do you
I'm
know?
an 8. I'm an 8.
Mm,
I'm a
good.
hardcore
We
challenger.
need that in the group.
I love
We
it.
can't all be 7s.
I'm
No, I'm
very
literally
cute.
scary Carrie. I'm scary Carrie. That's me right
I
there.
love it.
Yeah.
I love 8s because then you always know like where you stand with them. There's no like,
Mhm.
oh, do they like me or do they hate me? You just know
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wait a
this
minute.
is true.
they hate
So
you.
Kimberly and Noelle are both 7s,
Are you still identifying
And
as a
Alana.
7?
and Alana, you too?
Yep.
Wow.
No, I'm an unhealthy 7. I'm a hot mess 7. I'm not a healthy 7. I'm a 7 with an 8 wing, but
Yeah.
I ain't healthy.
Oh man.
But the
I can
show-
go.
I'm
I go
getting
back
there.
and
I'm
forth
getting there.
between 3s.
Kimberly's the healthiest 7, I
I-
think, of the 3 of us.
Still think she's a 3. She likes to have fun. She's a 3 who likes to have fun.
I like shiny new things. Yeah.
I like
Mm.
shiny new things too.
You do.
Is that not a 2?
Yeah, but you're so much more helpful. I don't
Oh.
know. You're not
Okay.
supposed to type other people, but whatever.
You're not.
We don't have
But whatever,
rules
I'm a
here.
7.
We
I
don't
do
have
what I
rules.
want.
I do what I
Yeah.
want. Make my own rules. I'm done if I don't like it. If I'm uncomfortable, I'm out.
Oh gosh.
Okay, so that leaves me. So I guess, well, the first thing that came to mind was travel. I love traveling. I could talk about traveling. I could talk about the restaurants I went to, because we always love to go to places that speak to the culture of the area. And it doesn't need to be like some more exotic. It could be like Cincinnati. We gotta have Cincinnati chili because we can't get that in Jersey. You know what I mean? Like, so we love to embrace like wherever it is that we're going. We love to have fun together. I've seen travel bring my family together. It's, my parents would save and, rub 2 nickels together just so we could travel and see the country and go places. And that's just something that I've carried on with my kids. And so I
Love
find
that.
out, yeah, you're going someplace. Oh, I'm like, I want to give you my itinerary. You went someplace. Tell me where you went. Like, let me get the good stuff. So yeah, I could talk about travel a lot. One thing that I wasn't even expecting that I was going to say, but as you guys were all talking, I'm passionate about systems. And Noelle tells me this all the time. Sometimes I love the system more than like actually
You
like
do.
that outcome that I'm chasing.
I would agree with that, having worked with you on many projects. Yes.
Yes.
Oh gosh.
You're
You are
the
a
queen
system
of
woman.
systems.
I need your systems, frankly.
Which is why I don't really think you're a 7, but that we're not going to
Yeah.
go back there.
Right. That's why I can go back
Not
to
going
the
back.
3. I don't know.
Mm.
I can be a
But you're
7
very
who loves
good at systems, actually.
Mhm.
You're very good at systems, and you've given me
Yes.
some very practical tips on how to apply systems to my
Mhm.
family life. So
Mhm.
you've helped a lot of people.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I've always kind of straddled the analytical and the creative. And I think that's why I went into the architectural side of designs, because I love that like fine-tuned drawing and methodical thinking, but I'm also very creative and, spatially aware. And so I don't know.
Interesting.
I'm interesting, I guess.
You are
Okay.
interesting.
I'm
You're
just
very
interesting.
Kim.
I don't know.
Okay, so here's a fun question. So I want to hear one thing that people might find surprising about you. So Elise, we're going to have you start off.
Oh, okay. Well, I was thinking, we were talking about this earlier, and Noelle reminded me I owned a gourmet cheese and coffee shop in Hoboken that I basically bought with my sister after I had been married for, I think, a month. And I also worked full-time at HBO, and it was, I could use plenty of words
Oh my god.
about it. It was wonderful, but it was also crazy. We did not know what we were doing. And in order to make it a business that worked, we had to do catering, gift baskets, and run the store. And again, just married and working full-time at HBO. So it was a very interesting experience and it was fun. And it was when we decided that doing something cool is probably not going to make you a lot of money.
Yeah.
So that's the
Yeah,
lesson
but
we
you
learned.
did say the magic word cheese. So
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
We had 125 international cheeses
oh,
and we had
Cool.
fresh ground coffee. This is way before people had this in grocery stores. This was 37 years ago.
Wow.
American Epicure in Hoboken.
And I have to
Goodness
say,
gracious.
you do know your cheeses, Elise.
I do know.
You do know your cheeses. It's true.
We might. Can we have an episode about cheese? I think we should.
Sure.
In
100%.
person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
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 Exactly.
How about
Wine.
cheese?
You guys
Do
bring
you have
the
cheese and wine in person?
Let's do a live
Yes.
tour where we just eat cheese and talk to people about family.
Yeah. Love it.
We can give tasting notes about the cheese while we're having it.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Why not?
Why not?
Why not?
Absolutely. Love it.
Yeah.
Amazing.
All right. So Jess, your turn.
Oh goodness. Oh yeah. Well, again, I please don't send me hate mail from people. But I don't like fur creatures. Pretty much any variety of fur creatures. And I'll give a little bit of a descriptor just inside my house. If you want to have livestock outside, dogs, cats, squirrels, all of it, they just need to be outside of the doors of my house. And the disclaimer is this: I'm allergic to all of them too. So, they make me look like Hitch. Will Smith and Hitch, that's me with
Yeah.
fur things. So yeah, that's the thing that people usually don't know about me because I'm like really, positive and upbeat. They're like, oh, she's got to love dogs and cats and all these things. And I'm like, oh, get it away.
That's funny.
All right. What about you, Alana?
Oh man. Pass. Okay. You know what? I feel like I say the same things all the time. So I guess this is for new people.
Yeah.
I've got a few surprising things. I went to an acting program in Ireland, in Dublin.
Oh, cool.
So
Wow.
Noelle, I want to talk to you at some point about
Yeah.
that.
That's
I
cool.
absolutely fell in love with the place, the country, the people, the pubs. And yeah, that's one. I mean, I've lived all over the place. I was born in California. I lived in Virginia, Pennsylvania, Ontario, Canada, back to Pennsylvania. Now I live in Florida. But again, I feel like that's not very surprising when you know that I'm a 7 and I'm an ENFP, although most of that had nothing to do, like I didn't make those choices up
Right.
until I moved to Canada. It's informative. I'm also an ordained pastor.
That's cool.
Come on now.
As well as a professional personal stylist, which I don't
Are
do
you?
right now. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, we're talking after this.
I am just super random, and that's just me.
I love it.
Love it.
Yeah.
There's some surprising things on this already.
Yes.
So I went to acting school as well, Alana.
Really?
Like probably a long time before you. You seem like you're much younger than I am. I don't know.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
I'm only slightly older than Elise's cheese shop.
Oh my gosh.
People better be listening.
I know they're gonna rewind. They're
There
gonna
will
go
be a
back.
test.
That's an Easter egg for somebody.
Yep, that's it. And I lived overseas for 4.5 years in London.
Oh,
Oh, look at us,
Yeah.
guys.
I know.
been to
all these
London.
We
little
got a lot in
similarities.
common. We got a
We
lot in
do.
common here.
Very
And you
cool.
lived in
I
New
like
York too, Jess, right?
Yes, I did. I went to school in New York. That's actually
That's where I went to
school.
acting school.
Where?
Where? Oh, NYU.
Oh, fancy. I went to the American Musical and Dramatic Academy. I did the 2-year conservatory program.
Speaking of
Yeah, I love
fancy,
it.
Alana.
I know she's fancy too.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you see what it did for me to go to NYU. I'm not an actress right now.
Yeah.
Oh, well,
My husband always
but
like,
you've
he
got a
always
lot of
shames
spunk
me.
and spirit.
Well, that's the truth.
Yeah.
He always says my diploma that hangs above his, which is humongous, by the way. So normal diplomas from like every other college in the world are a regular size. And then the one from NYU looks like I got my doctorate somewhere. And he's like, that is the most expensive piece of paper in our
Oh,
entire
wow.
house.
Mm,
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Hey, Kimberly, did we hear from you and your?
No, we haven't.
No, I was going to have Noelle go.
Oh,
I'm kind of putting myself at the end.
All
I
right.
want to hear what everybody else has to say first. All right,
she
Noelle,
wants
you're
the
up.
advantage.
This is not my, well, I don't, I have something to share, but I almost went to acting school. I actually got into acting school in New York City. I was actually accepted to NYU, but I chose to go to Marymount. And Elise knows this. 2 weeks before I was supposed to go to Marymount, I decided to go to Bible college. Shocked the crap out of my
Wow.
parents. Yeah, that's a whole other story. But
Wow.
something that you might be surprised about me currently is that I really do not like to be in bodies of water.
Oh,
I don't like,
Interesting.
I
you live on a
really-
lake.
yep. She lives on a
This
lake.
is why it's surprising. I don't swim in the lake. Only
Whoa.
2 times I've ever been inside, like have immersed my body in that lake. I don't really like being in the ocean. It's a little scary. There's sharks.
Did you go to the Jersey Shore? Like,
Doesn't
all the
everyone
time?
love the
my-
Jersey Shore?
Oh, the Jersey
Okay,
Shore.
yeah, I love the Jersey Shore, but I'm not gonna swim in the water. There's no that-
Exactly.
come on now. We know it's not water. It's not nice. I go up to my knees. And then I don't even like, guys, I don't even like pools. I don't even like jacuzzis.
Oh.
I pretend for the other people that I am.
You don't like a
enjoying
hot tub?
myself. Not really. No, I just, there's something about it that kind of grosses me out. I don't know what it is. I'm not saying it's healthy. I'm just saying when I'm in water with people, I'm faking my joy 100%. And I cannot
Look at
wait.
Noelle with her team player. She's such a team player.
Well, I mean, I try to
No,
pretend.
wait
for
a
the
minute.
people,
What
but
about
I
bathtub?
don't like it.
Like your own bathtub? Is that okay?
No, but I love bath. But see, I like my bathtub because it's just me. But
Oh, gotcha.
sharing
Mm.
water with people, people pee.
It
I mean,
is
there's other
gross.
people drinking water. It's gross. Like,
Noelle
if you
just
really,
said
if
out
you
loud what
really
everybody
want to,
thought.
right?
If you think about a lot of things, like if you think about staying in a hotel,
I can't, Lise. I hate hotels too, but that's actually written down, by the way. I don't know if you could see that. Hotels is on there. You know
Oh my
what?
gosh.
When I went to Germany one time, my friend gifted me to go to a spa because I helped her with a book thing that she was doing. And I was mortified because it was all swimming pools and everybody was buck naked. Everybody,
gosh.
children, everybody was naked and in the
Oh my
water
gosh.
swimming. They would come out of the water and go to like the little restaurant naked. Everybody was naked.
Where was
I
this?
was,
You sit down and
Germany?
eat naked and
I-
wet and naked?
I'm not, they might have a towel laid out, but they were bare. And I was the only person in there that was like, I'm wearing a bathing suit, but I did not have a good time because I'm like, this is like my worst nightmare. It was
Yeah.
just not my thing.
That would have been you're scarred. That's what happened. You got scarred
I'm
in
scarred.
Germany. Yeah.
Scarred from
I
the
was probably
story.
scarred before that, but that was like my worst nightmare. And I felt so bad because it was like supposed to be a
Where was
gift.
it? In case anybody wants to not ever
Check
go
it
there.
out.
I feel like we were like
check
in the
it out.
lower western half of Germany. I don't remember where we were, but it was just too much for me.
yeah,
Oh my God.
And
I
like,
get it.
and I went into a sauna and everybody was naked and they were bare butt to the bench naked and I was in my bathing suit and they were giving me dirty looks.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
You didn't understand the culture,
Etiquette,
Noelle.
yeah.
I was
Yeah.
totally not culturally prepared for that. I mean, and I'm glad for them. There's like, they have obviously a freedom that I have not been given yet. A healing that I need. I just still need to
the
receive
fact
from
that
the
you're from
Lord.
Jersey.
Oh
I'm
man.
like,
It's okay. We're gonna pray
No.
for deliverance for Noelle that she'll be free.
yeah.
She'll be able to go to a nudie restaurant.
Really grown when I can strip down and feel comfortable eating a hot dog in front of people. All right.
Kim's gonna gonna have
Let's
to edit
talk-
out like literally half of this. Yeah, that's
Sorry.
okay.
Oh my
I know.
gosh.
I'm sorry. I'm not behaving. Kimberly?
Well, I went topless on my honeymoon in France because that's what everyone
Ooh.
did at the beach. So I was
Yeah.
like,
You.
One in France.
Good for you.
yeah,
I
but
did
not
happy for you.
bottomless, and I
St.
wasn't.
Croix too.
I don't think I
Yep.
went in the water.
Plus, it was your honeymoon. Your husband probably
Yeah.
really appreciated that.
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it was
Yeah.
interesting. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
we went to St. Croix, and you would feel almost ridiculous with a top on.
True.
I
Oh,
wouldn't.
really?
Mm.
I wouldn't.
Nicole said I wouldn't.
I know, right?
Well, I mean, I still wore my bathing suit, but I took it down.
All
What can I
right.
Just
say?
a-
Exciting.
okay.
All right. Well, that wasn't my you'd be surprised by, but my you'd be surprised isn't as surprising. So I grew up in Long Island, and how do I say this? So I love hip hop music. Like during the summer, I put the windows down and I crank the music. And growing up, like it was part of our culture in our neighborhood for the guys to have like revved up cars with like big bass speakers. And it was like whoever had the biggest bass. And like my boyfriend had the biggest bass. So it was very,
No.
so I try to duplicate that a little now. And my kids, they're so embarrassed. But yeah, and in college, I had a pink Geo Tracker with like a neon rim, right?
I
And
can
so you
totally
would,
see this.
yeah. So
I
this
can
is
see
like,
this.
So I have this thing about Jersey where it's like, it's not Long Island,
Yeah, the Jersey needs to keep up with you.
It's not Long Island. You're right. It's not Long Island, and we're happy with that.
Yeah. But I still love like throwing back to that. Like it'll come out, that inner Long Island will come out sometimes when I listen to old school music or, yeah. So I
Love
do
that.
like, yeah, surprising people with that. And then 3 years ago, I don't know if it's 2 or 3 years ago, I got 2 tattoos. And that like shocked everybody because they're like, oh my gosh, I wouldn't, like people I know in the neighborhood were like, I would have never thought. And now I'm thinking about building on one. And I think, I don't know.
That's cool.
Come
I
on.
guess sleeve.
Nah, just maybe like build on this a little bit. But I think that surprises
Yeah.
people. I don't know why, but I don't know.
You just seem so presentable. Wait a minute. What's sparkling?
Oh,
Is that bedazzled?
Ooh.
nice.
no.
There it is.
No, I got
There's
this at a
another
sample
surprise.
sale in Manhattan 20
my
years
God.
ago.
20 years ago. It's vintage, girl.
Yeah. It was like
Wow.
retail. It was like $300 and I got it for like
Yeah.
25. Like when we live in Manhattan, you like
Yeah.
get these sample sale notices. And so you like
Yeah, they're
leave
great.
work at lunch so you can go in this warehouse and like dig through boxes of like designer
Yeah.
labels. And so this is a designer. I don't, throwback.
Fact that you
Nice.
Amazing.
still
I like
fit into it and can rock it like that. I have so much respect for you.
It's vintage. All right. Let's talk about what we do online. Because I want our listeners to eventually come and find us online and see. I love the work that you guys do. And that's one of the reasons why I brought you on the show. And I want people to know about it too. So let's talk about what we're doing in that online space. Jess, why don't you go first?
Sure. I'm an author. I'm a Christian author. So I do write actual books. At least I've written one so far. I'm working on the next one, painfully, slowly, but that's pretty much how books are. And I also share like essentially mini Bible studies, like these little 2 to 3 minute Bible studies, mostly on my Instagram feed. And it primarily relates to, whatever God's slapping me across the face with that day, and I'll share. And then I also share with my followers, my subscribers and stuff, little helpful things. Right now on my subscriber list, it's 50 family fun ideas. So just like little things that have helped me, when I'm lost for, oh my gosh, what on earth am I going to do for the third Saturday without anything planned? And I just have like this little go-to list of the things that my family likes and shared it with everybody else. So that's kind of what I do.
That's cool.
All right, Alana. You're always doing something new. Is that correct?
I am. It's really annoying. Nervous laughter. I'm kind of in a weird in between. You caught me in an in between place right now. If people want to hear me talk about, I'm very passionate online about identity. I'm very American, and I'm very anti woke and very passionate about that. I'm very passionate about critical thinking, especially last year, but that just kind of brought me a new opportunity to frame that conversation. So I post a lot about just thinking critically about politics, race issues, and our Christianity. I probably have a pretty mixed audience, but I mainly, talk to Christians, but also it's me, so it's pretty random and it's all over the place. And it's not very formulated. This is a great advertisement for you to come and check me out online. I also started a business last year, an online boutique called Journey Better Boutique. And the joke is, right, so I started investigating this option of having an online store. And I'm doing my market research. And because all of the 15 days to slow the spread, people had already had enough and were Googling a lot about travel. So on Google, whatever you call that thing, I can't even remember now, but Google Trends, it was shooting up. People were ready to travel, practically had a packed bag at the door the second that, this thing blew over. And so I started a business selling travel accessories.
Cool.
And then it was no, this is not over. Not no one, but most people are not going anywhere. And so then I kind of pivoted it into a clothing boutique. Long story short, I recently put it on ice to let my 10-year-old daughter, have her own space. So she designs, she hand draws these different characters, and we work together to make kids' clothes. We don't make them, but we design them, and accessories like backpacks and things like that. So it's a lot of fun. It's an opportunity for her to learn about running a business, for me to learn about running a business. She's always asking, did I cover my costs yet? She just wants to spend her money. We did the first iteration of it, we did a big photo shoot, and we ordered samples, and we got a pizzas, and we had her friends over, and we did this whole thing. And I was you got to cover that shoot before you can even think about making any money out of this business. So that's where I'm at with that. And I'm working on some, I don't really know what to call it actually, but I'm going to launch it in the new year. And I'm just kind of slowly working on some resources for women like me. I think there's some out there who are just kind of, when it comes to planning, scheduling your life, maybe you're a little mercurial, you're a little moody, and you don't want to read you can do it, go girl. You want some days you need that, but some days you need I can't get out of bed, or I'm overwhelmed and I don't know where to start, and I don't need syrupy, sugary sweet. I need A, B, C, D, and 1, 2, 3. You know what I mean? So I'm working on some helpful things for women in that kind of place.
I love that.
Yeah, that's
Very
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Noelle, you're up next.
I don't know what I do online. No,
Noelle makes everyone laugh. That's what Noelle
Yes,
does online.
yes.
Please.
Okay,
ASMR.
try again. I do comedy online. I do skits and sketches, that are just sort of silly, but I do that. And in the past, I have done some other things online, but right now I'm doing comedy and, Bible teaching stuff. So I'll be doing Advent. I always do an audio Advent devotional every year. So that's coming out soon, and that'll go online. And then the comedy. So the Bible teaching and the comedy is an interesting duo. And I'm finally like accepting it. I'm coming out of the closet with it, because for a long time I felt like I had to be either or. So, but now it's just who I am, and you're just going to be okay with it. But that's what I do. So if you go and look me up, you're mostly going to just see some very weird humor that you might think is funny, and you might be like, ooh, that might be heretical. I don't know. I might need to ask Jess, DM Jess, and see if I'm doing any accidental heresy, which I totally am. 100%. There's a lot of heresy happening there. So,
But it is all literally driving people. I'm like, you know what? You should go look at the Bible yourself. See how that is.
Yes, I've shared your stuff with
someone
friends that
actually-
aren't necessarily into like Christian stuff, but they love it because
Yep.
they remember these stories and these things that you're riffing on. They know these things from the Bible, and they like to laugh with you. And I think it creates an open door for many people.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
1000%.
yeah, it's interesting because the character I often play is a disciple's mother, but it's done in a way where as if the disciples' mothers were from New Jersey and they were Italian American. So some people think that's funny, some people don't get it, and some people are like, that's not the Bible. And you're like, that's because it's comedy. It's not. Like, I know disciples' moms were not from New Jersey. I know that, but you'd be surprised.
Wait, are you
What,
sure?
Noelle? What? Are you serious?
Yeah. The amount of DMs that I get, people are like, did you know that they were like not from New Jersey? You're like, yes.
Yeah. It's like, if you
Wow.
don't get
Gosh.
it, it's not for you.
Yeah.
Move along.
No,
You don't
Alana,
need
see,
to
then we send
DM
them to
me.
you. We send them to you and say, hey, critical thinking first.
Yes.
Then
Yeah.
go have
Send
some
them to
fun.
me.
If you got a problem with what I'm doing, go talk to Alana or Jess.
Yep.
They'll explain it.
Yep.
Leave me
All
alone
okay.
and let me do my thing.
Just
So, yeah,
let
that's
me
what I
have
do online.
fun.
Send us your hate
That's
mail,
what I do.
Noelle. We'll take care of it.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll take you up.
Yeah. We're
It's
there.
very
for you.
funny.
All right, Elise, it's your turn.
Okay, so I am a certified life coach, and I just launched Mom Vision, helping you savor, not just survive motherhood. And it's so funny because now I'm thinking, Noelle, you're right. I'm such a helper. Like, that is literally what I'm doing with my podcast. I'm the mom who has gone before and experienced a lot of stuff that, I really want to create a safe place for people to be, moms to be themselves. I really desire for them to know, love, and accept themselves as they are, but also feel empowered to make little small changes that can add up to the life that they really want. So I'm kind of talking to the mom who's not thinking motherhood is the most glorious thing they've ever done in the world, and all they can think about is how beautiful it is. No, I'm really talking more to the mom who's struggling, has some dissatisfaction, feels like she's kind of lost herself, and I am there to help her navigate and to have more joy and be more herself.
And you do that
Love
very
that.
well, Elise.
Thank you.
You have a podcast too.
I said I have a podcast, Mom Vision, thanks to Noelle who guided me through that whole process. Yeah. I'm having fun with my podcast, and I really do offer it's short, 10 to 15 minutes. And I usually loop in a little story, but it's a lot of practical stuff on, again, how to navigate this season of life.
Well, I give people
That's
systems
awesome.
for what I do. So now that you're saying, well, I'm a helper, I'm thinking, yeah.
Yeah, it's all making sense.
Build your best family. And I help people to imagine, plan, and build their best family. And I love helping people figure out what they want to be known for, identify those values, start to put language and practices around those values, and have the family that they envision, have the family that they want, a family that lines up with their values, and then practically a life that lines up with their values. And I become passionate about that because my own story is that my family was all over the place. Like, I had a big vision, but didn't know how to act it out, didn't know how to make it happen. And I put together a system. I mean, I stole a system from how companies and organizations create culture. And so I really enjoy doing that. I'm a family culture coach, so I love walking people through that and helping them with that. And then I do have a background in design. So when I think of myself holistically, I say that I help people to create environments where they thrive. And so eventually, and I'm starting to do more of this now, is starting to incorporate that idea of creating a home that fits your family culture. So when we did a renovation with our home, it really was designed and built around how we wanted our family to live. It wasn't just built so it looked good in pictures or so that, it was aesthetically pleasing. Like, it had to work for us. And so there's small things that we can do in our home, and there's environments that we can create that can really facilitate that. And so as my kids are older and I'm launching them off, I do see a future in design, but I see that can work together in how we live out our family's culture. And so really helping people create an environment where they thrive. So whether that's a system, whether that's an actual physical environment, that's what I love to do.
Love it.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I need Kimberly in my house.
I'll come over. We'll bring the wine and cheese.
Yeah, let's do it.
Just do a home makeover. All right. So we're wrapping up now. So tell us where we can actually find you. I will link to all of this in the show notes, but I want you to just let everybody know in case they want to go Google. All right. We'll start off with Alana.
Well, Instagram is where the party's at for me. Alana Kuwabara is my handle. And you can also find my shop, Journey Better Boutique, on Instagram. That's also the website. And my daughter's shop is Don't Call Me Coco. Because when we launched her line on my store, it was Coco Designs. So people that know us like in real life started calling her Coco, and she was like, "You don't get to call me Coco. It's my family nickname." So don't call her Coco.
I see.
She's
Love
very
it.
sweet. Yeah. So I'm very easy to find. If you can figure out how to spell and pronounce my name, you can find me.
All right, Noelle.
You can find me on the TikTok at _ your friend Noelle, which I'm not, never mind, I'm not going to get to that, but yes, I'm there. And I'm also on Instagram at your friend Noelle. My website is under construction at the moment, but if you're listening to this and it's done, you'll be able to get in, and it'll be at noellerhodes.com. But right now, I don't have my crap together, so it's not there. So it's just better to go to TikTok and Instagram. You'll find all the places there.
All right, Elise.
EliseDalyParker.com and at Elise Daly Parker, pretty much anywhere, but yes, mostly on Instagram.
And the Mom Vision podcast.
Oh gosh, yes.
Vision podcast.
Mom Vision. Yeah, that's what it's literally called. Mom Vision. One word.
Yeah. All right. And Jess?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Jess_Carey AZ for Arizona. And then my website is jessicacarey.co. So not .com. Someone else owns that. You know, I'm going to buy it one day, but for now it's
will.
just .co, and that's it.
All right.
Very cool.
And then, of course, you can find us at buildyourbestfamily.com. And then I am also at kimberlyamici.com, and I'm on Instagram as Kimberly Amici and Build Your Best Family. And that's where I like to hang out.
Mhm.
All right, ladies, thank you for being with us today. And I am so excited, and I'm looking forward to digging into some of these conversations about family with each of you.
Love it.
Thank you. It's so fun.
Awesome.
Thank
Great
you.
to be together.
Yes.
Bye.